You just saw me choke 5 different times in 5 different games and in 5 different ways. We can define choking as having a game won, but somehow getting bad or missing the 7, 8, or 9. So now we're going to go back over each of those 5 different games from start to finish in each one. And we're going to try to figure out where I went wrong and why I missed or why I got really bad shape on these 3 key balls, the 7, 8, or 9. So if we find the pattern in this rack, everything looks, I mean, there's some problems like getting from the 2 to the 3 and the 3 to the 4, but it's perfectly runnable. And so far, everything I'm doing, it might not be absolutely perfect, but it'll work. I don't really see a problem here. Maybe the 5 to the 6. And we have to get good on the 6 in order to get good position on the 7. So let's just keep it rolling and see what happens. This should have been hit much harder. We need to get close and as straight in as we can get on the 6, and we came up way short. So now I'm forced to put top on this ball and go around 3 rows. And that didn't quite work because of the dead rows, but still, I think I'm straight in here on the 7, so just poke that in. I really don't see a problem. I should have ran this rack, there's no doubt about it. And here, I dogged the 9. I don't know, I think I just hit it. I want to say this 9 ball skidded, but it might have skidded a little bit, but let's take a closer look at this. Alright, I'm zoomed in here and at half speed, and I'm looking to see if that 9 ball skids, which means just not wrong, just skidding across the table, which will throw it off the line of aim. No, that 9 ball did not skid. So we can't blame it. It had to be something physical, and it could be something as simple as my eyesight. All the basics are right here. My stance is right, the bridge is right. I'm looking at the object ball as I shoot. I didn't jump up on it. I got a solid bridge. Everything appears to be right. I'm still not quite sure why I missed this ball. So you can say I should have got straighter in when I shot the 8, but that's nonsense. This shot comes up all the time, and you want it to come up all the time so you can get the correct position. I just simply misaimed this shot, and the correct thing for me to do is to set it up 100 times or 200 times and shoot it over and over and over until I'm making it every single time. I just misaimed it. That's all there is to it. And at this point in my pool career, I shouldn't be doing that. So I have to be militant about bear down and practice it. Yeah, it's caused by this kind of self-destructive, defeatist mentality where something inside of you is just not feeling worth it. And that, of course, is a mental issue that you have to work on. So before we focus on that, you should focus on the physical issues that result from that, which is holding your breath. I think is the big one. Holding your breath causes all kinds of excess tension, and you're denying oxygen to your brain, which means you really can't think clearly. And usually you don't even realize that you're holding your breath until you become conscious of that issue. So, I mean, if you're dealing with just excess crap from like your childhood, your parents were mean to you, or your siblings were mean, or whatever, and if for some reason you just internally feel like you don't deserve whatever, because you know you have these voices in your head telling you that you're a loser and all this other shit. Once you're breathing, by the way, we all have those issues. It's just that some people can handle them better than others, and some people can tell themselves, you know, that's just stupid. Of course I deserve this. But you never get to that clear thought process if you're not breathing. So number one is breathe. So here's the second game, and yeah, this is going to be a long video. We're really trying to get analytical on this because I know a lot of people have this problem. So I'm not going to get too far into the mental aspects of choking, but we are going to conquer the physical aspects. Although that was a little bit ugly getting to this point, everything looks okay. I could have got better on that before, but no big deal. Like, I think I'm trying to come up behind this 7, and I wound up running into it, which was not wise. And that train wreck started with, I believe it was a 3 ball. I got bad on the 4, and that's why we're in this position right here. But still, it should be, you know, no biggie. This is one of my favorite shots. And I got too wide on that. And everybody knows this is a scratch shot. Everybody knows it. But for some reason, I just got stupid here and didn't draw it off that angle. I should have put draw on that shot to avoid. Yeah, that's just amateur. It was just an amateur dumb mistake. I know that. Everybody knows it. So it really, I just lost my brain on that. Let's go back and look at it. So yeah, the correct thing to do is put bottom on this ball to draw out on this angle instead of that angle right here. I keep forgetting you can't see my mouse. But yeah, if you put draw on this ball, it'll pull it up off that angle. And so the correct thing for me to do is just set this up a million times and shoot it over and over and over again until I never make this mental error again. That should never happen at this point in my career. When I was young, there were 2 things I would do to handle this issue. And number one, I would shoot really fast, really, really fast rhythm. So I was known as a fast rhythm player. And what happens when you do that is you eliminate the time to think whether it's good or bad. So if you shoot slow, it creates time to fill your head with a bunch of doubt. And if you shoot fast, you don't have time to think about anything. The trade-off with that is while you're not thinking negative, you're not thinking right either. So you're shooting too fast to even figure out where you need to be on the cue ball. And then the trade-off to that is you rely on your shot making to where you're shooting all 9 balls and just crazy, you know, shots, but you're not getting shape. So, yeah, finally got drilled through my head. This is not working. I can't maintain, you know, I can't shoot 9 trick shots every game. It's not going to work. So the other thing I used to do is, and I got a little bit of a bad reputation for this, I would find something in my opponent, whether he said something or he did something that I just hated. So I would play with this hatred inside me, and I would focus on just punishing my opponent. Brutal. You're kind of substituting everything to just punish this person. And it would be the stupidest little thing. Like, I'd be drinking, Budweiser or something, and he'd be drinking Miller. And I would just convince myself that that was a hateable thing to do. Just stupid. Dumb shit like that. And then really, really smart opponents started realizing this about me. And were coming at me, and I couldn't. They were like really nice to me, like buying me drinks and shit. And I was just a sucker for it. I was just young and stupid, and it got to the point where how can you hate someone who's being so nice to you? And then I couldn't beat the nice guys, but I could easily beat the people I hated, and it was unfair to them. And I'd be a dick about it too. I pissed off a lot of people in the middle of matches, and it wouldn't make sense to them. It's just a real dick thing to do. But I couldn't figure it out, so I had to do something, and that's what I did. I hate this person. I'm gonna take their money. I'm gonna make them cry, and they usually work. And I regret all that. I regret all that. I made too many enemies. And it's much better, not just in pool, but in life, to be kind to people. And people don't deserve to be treated badly unless they legitimately do something. But drinking Miller is not, a hateable offense in reality. But just really immature. I just didn't know what to do with all this mental energy, and that's what I would do. But that's what I thought the pool players were. They were these mean people who were out to hustle people and hurt people and move on with the money. Yeah, I was just so wrong about that. But here we are in the third game, and it looks like I'm struggling to find the pattern here, which is never good for your confidence. And there's that same shot that we shot in the last game, and one of the later balls, where you're pushing us off the rail. To the other side of the table where the 3 ball is, and I used the 9 ball to help me out and get back over there. That was kind of sloppy and dangerous. It's one of those trick shots that comes up in a career of shooting 9 trick shots every game. Don't do that. So that was a good breakout on the 4 ball, and from here. Getting on the 8 and getting from the 8 to the 9 is the issue. It's clearly the only problem we have. So the key is to get way down table on this 8, but not straight in. We need an angle to get back on this 9 ball. The next routine. Here we should have went 2 rails or 3 rails back down table on the 8, but I choose to not do it that way and just go long and straight in 1 round. And that didn't work, and it came way, 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 way short. So the problem on that was I just shot the 7 ball wrong. And here you'll see me dog the 8 ball. While getting perfect on the 9. It's just it was bad position, and that's because of the way we shot the 7. So let's go back again and see how we shot the 7. From the 6, we get the right position on the 7 to go against that short rail and against the long rail, and all the way back down on this side of the 8 ball. We should have went 2 rails here. We should have spun this ball. We didn't spin it. We put a little bit of top on it to just go straight back down table on the same side. It was just not the right thing to do. And again, the right thing to do here is set this up and go 2 rails back on the 8 and set it up over and over and over until I'm nailing it every time. Alright, the correct thing to do here is to put bottom left on this ball and then draw off and increase this angle here off the 7 to go 2 rails to bounce back down table for the 3rd rail. And hard enough to get off the rail because you want to draw this cue ball back off the 8. You're going to shoot the 8 in this corner and just kind of draw it back. You don't have to get close to the 7 if you just want to draw straight back. To here, you'll be fine. Just don't scratch once you get to the 9 ball. What I did was I just put a little straight top on this. No left or no right. And I just went down to this end round. And I tried to come back up on this side of the 8. Which is really just not wise. I just wasn't thinking. I mean, I know this. But the key still to correct this and to drill through my head, apparently this is what has to be done. You just set this shot up another 100 times and make it 100 times and do it right 100 times. So even if you're half asleep and you're not really thinking, you'll still know what to do. It'll be more of a habit than something that you even have to think about. So, yeah, I just went to sleep and got stupid. That's all there is to it. I'm still going to work on it. The sport of pool tends to attract people from not so great circumstances because it's something they can go out and do themselves. They don't have to depend on anyone, and there's this mentality of me against the world. I don't need anybody. But with that rough life comes often just a bad, unstable frame of mind. So this self-defeatist crap is a real issue in pool, and I see it a lot. The only real way I know to I say I'm not a shrink. I don't want to get into all these psychological issues. And this video will go on forever. And I think the best way to do it is to take it in steps. And the very shot that you choked on, you need to set it up 1,000 times and shoot it and make it. And that's number 2 after telling yourself to breathe. So you can get to that. The first step is to tell yourself to breathe, and then you can think straight and say, okay, well, we need to set this shot up 1,000 times and make it so I can, regain my confidence. The first thing to understand is everybody does this. Everybody does it. Shane and Jason and Alex, all of them, they do it. They just don't do it as much as other people do. It helps to know that this is just a part of being human. Now, if you find yourself doing it chronically, this is where you have a serious problem. So here's another game where I choke somewhere along this line. Let's see what I do wrong here. I can see the pattern really easily. It doesn't, yeah, see, that was weak. I could have got snookered there behind that 6 ball. And that's probably what's going through my head. That was just weak. I'm probably beating myself up after that. Now we have to come back, around behind the 4 ball instead of shooting that simple shot in the side because we just got bad on the 3. So the train wreck has started. Let's see. All right, I get back in line there. The rest should be easy. Let's see what happens here. I don't like something here, but I'm not sure what it is. This looks easy. I went too far here. If there was a thin cut, then the cue ball got away from me a little bit. Now I got to do something crazy. I'm back out of line, and believe it or not, I think I wound up drawing. Yeah, I'm looking at drawing this 3 rouse back out on the 7 for a trick shot. There's no way I can cut this in the side. I have to shoot it in the corner. And I only have half a pocket to shoot this in because the 7 is blocking half of it. Yeah, this is nuts here. You might, I don't know, if you're a good banker, you might want to bank this. But the key is not to get out of line, which I did. Yeah, that was, I mean, that looks cool, and the fans are going to love you for that. But most often, that's going to get you broke, sitting down and watching your opponent win. Oh God! See, I should have drew that ball back. So I made pretty much the same mistake I made. I should have drew behind that 9 ball to keep that from happening. So I wound up shooting a bank, and yeah, just kind of gave up on myself. I kept getting out of line, and it just seemed like too much energy to try to even try anymore. So I just shot that bank really half-ass. It's a sign of being tired, I think. Never give up. You need heart. And the definition of heart is never, ever giving up. Even if you're down, 8-0 in a race to 9, don't stop trying. Don't concede. Don't give up. It is possible for you to win that match. Just don't give up. And that's what I did. I gave up like a pussy. So it's just another mental error where I was just trying to cinch the 7 ball and not really worrying about the cue ball. Even if the cue ball hit the 9 full, I'd still be on the 8 to get back on the 9. So I just wasn't worried about it. It's just mentally lazy. Well, I figured, well, I got 3 balls to run. This ain't no problem. Let's just make them. And it's what you're going to find that you're not really choking on shots. You're making mental errors because you're getting hard on those shots. So it's always a few shots before. Low percentage shots are low percentage shots. It's what happened is you got stupid, before you got to that hard shot. And this isn't a hard shot. It's just a stupid mental error. And all I had to do was put a little bit of right. And this is what Earl Strickland does so well. He spins balls in. And a little bit of right would have came off the rail and spun it in this direction instead of coming back. As you know, I didn't put any English on it at all. I just put center ball on it. And it came back and hit the left side of the 9 and wound up down the table for a bank. And I gave up on myself on the bank. I just didn't, just wasn't worth the effort, I guess. I don't know. But it's mental laziness, and that's what you're going to find. You're making mental errors. You're not missing balls. A lot of people make the mistake of missing a hard shot and concluding that that's the shot you need to work on, when it's not really the issue. The shot before that, where you shot it and got bad position, is the shot that you need to work on. How could you have made this easier? I mean, tough shots are supposed to be tough shots, and low percentage shots. So setting that shot up a million times and making it isn't really going to help you. You need to set up the shot before that, or figure out where that train wreck started and fix that issue so you're never in that position again. Alright, here comes another one, so this will be the last one. I got stuff I have to do. I'm worried about something here, and I think it's getting on this 2-ball from the line. And it looks like I don't want to shoot that 4-ball in either one of those corners down there. So the solution works, but it's about getting back on this 3-ball, and I'm gonna have to draw it back behind the 9-ball. Come this route, it was a good recovery, but the problem here is I have to get down to the bottom rail after shooting this 3 in order to have a shot inside for this 4. Well, that looked wrong. If you go back over this tape and watch the angle I had on the 3, you can see why I did it. That 5-ball is blocking the 4 from going in the other corner. So all I have to do is cinch this and roll up, and I should be good on the 5 to get back out on the 6. I have 4 pockets to shoot this 6, and I think I got bad here. I could have got straight in on any pocket on the table and would have been right on the 7, so I made this a little bit hard on myself, and I have to draw back off the side rail and bounce off to get on this 7. So this is a cut here in that corner. But I'm back in line, and I'm perfect on the 7, and the rest of this is easy 3-ball run. So, oh God. So yeah, I dogged that one. Let's go back and see what happened. That had to be a physical issue, or I just didn't have it lined up right, or pulled up on it. Something went wrong, and I'm not sure what it was, so let's go back and analyze that. Well, my elbow and my shoulder dropped, and it looks like I twisted my wrist. It was just a bad stroke here. As I'm shooting through this cue ball, the elbow drops and the shoulder drops, and it throws the tip of the cue ball offline where I'm trying to steer the ball in instead of letting the cue ball do its job. That's what happens. I dip right there through the cue tip up and probably to the side, and it kind of threw the 7-ball into the rail instead of into the pocket. That's what happens. That's my stroke, and I need to work on it, and I want to set that shot up and keep that from happening. It's not about steering the object ball in the pocket. It's about keeping a straight stroke and letting the cue ball do what the cue ball does. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for watching, and I do appreciate you guys. I'm sure you're going to take something out of that and use it to improve your game. Everybody does it. You're just going to have to do it less if you want to hit the pro ranks.